Hey, Houseguest, welcome to today's... Why is my hair parting like that? Hey, Houseguest, welcome to today's BB23 updates and spoilers. Hope you're all having a great Friday so far. I am ready to fall asleep. I'm so tired. These feeds have been freaking testing me this season, especially in the last week. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it's just been too much. Like, honestly, I'm ready for just a chill, relaxed week. Like... We've been going through it. But anyway, we're not having a chill and relaxed week. This week is going to be insane. It already is. So anyway, should be a fun spoiler. Our house guests of the day are Camila Gamba and Raul Aguilar. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so, so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla. Okay, and I also want to thank yesterday's Super Chatters before we get going here, because Super Chat is a great way to support the channel and keep us not sleeping. So now keep us doing what we're doing. So Jody Cortez, Noni KOK, Susan Pendley, Sarah, I'm saying everyone's names wrong, I'm so sorry. Michelle C, Nick Silverstein, Julie's Heart, Michelle, Justin Tanner, Jessica Noe, Caleb Carinta, Andy W, Susie Loy, Michelle, and Terrell K. Thank you all so much for the super chats. And I see we already have some super chats today. Lovely. Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much. I'm sorry, I cannot do the Kai impression because my brain is going to explode, but it has been... I love Kai. He seems like a wonderful human being. This is nothing against him as a person, but trying to listen to him during these one-on-ones, it's exhausting. So thank you. Adley Bruges, thank you so much for the super chat. Hello to you. Welcome to the show. Sean, that's my boyfriend. I love you. I'm not drinking Red Bull, though. Never. But thank you for the super chat. And Michelle C, thank you so much. Michelle says, I agree. Listening to Kyland talk to the house guests is painful. He just goes on a lot of tangents, and he's very, very long-winded. It's a lot. But thank you for the super chat. Let's dive in. All right. So last night, we saw on the show, Christian was evicted by a vote of 7-2. And just a reminder, Alyssa and Xavier were the two. They cleared this beforehand with Sarah Beth. So no harm, no foul there. All right. So Julie introduced the new twist that's going to be lasting for the next 3 weeks and is the High Rollers Room. And basically, there's going to be 3 unique Big Brother casino games. And these games will lead to 3 game-changing powers that will be up for grabs. So in order to play these games, you got to have BB bucks to spend. So America is going to be voting for who gets the BB bucks. So the top 3 vote getters will be getting $100 each. The next 3 will be getting $75 each. And the rest of the unpopular people will be getting $50 each. Okay. So Julie also mentioned you can save up your bucks. You can pool your money over the 3 weeks to play a more expensive game. You don't have to spend them all every week. Interesting. All right. So we also saw there was no HOH competition on the episode last night. They didn't have time for it. You know, they didn't have time for the POV on Wednesday. They didn't have time for the HOH yesterday. So then the feeds returned at 7 p.m. Big Brother time after they had the HOH competition. And oh my God, it was a knockout comp. So that's perfect timing because the dynamics right now in that house are getting very messy. People are getting sick and tired of each other. So this is wonderful. So we find out that Kyland won HOH. I guess I already spoiled that for you when I was talking about his one-on-ones. But anyway, he is the first repeat HOH of the season, and it was awkward. A lot of the other house guests were not happy. They did not want him to win this competition because going into this week, Sarah Beth was like the house target for almost everybody else. So there's not a big chance that Kyland is going to target Sarah Beth because they're like BFFs in there. So everybody was pretty upset about it. So we see Alyssa and Xavier in the storage room when the feeds come back. And Alyssa's like, we would have had the effing numbers. Oh my God, they're effing idiots. So she says they're all pissed now because they know that if Christian had stayed, that would not have happened. And now Kyland can't go this week. Sarah Beth is not leaving this week. So people are unhappy, and Alyssa is loving it. Oh, she's laughing her ass off about it. So then Tiffany comes in to talk to Xavier, and Alyssa leaves. And Tiffany tells Xavier, never try to throw something to me again. She says, I'm sorry, you could have just had that one. So it turns out that Xavier was up against Tiffany in one of the earlier rounds in the competition, and he threw it to her, and then she ended up losing to Kyland in the last round. So Tiffany says, I just wanted to see my son, but I messed up. I blew it. So Tiffany starts crying, and she's saying anyone could have won that competition except for Kai. Yikes. Isn't he supposed to be like your ally in a bunch of different alliances that you guys share together? Anyway, Hannah is the next one in to talk to Xavier in the storage room. And Xavier says, basically, nobody wanted Kai to win this HOH, and he won. So we get a little more clarity. Xavier threw his round to Tiff. He thought that Kyland was also going to throw the competition to Tiffany. But hold on a second. It sounds like Kyland did try to throw the competition because he just stood there waiting for her to answer the question, and then Tiffany buzzed in first and got it wrong. So she was eliminated, and Kyland won by default. So is that really his fault? He was waiting to let her win it, but she got the question wrong. So he did try to throw it to her, but the cookout is pissed at him right now. So yeah, Xavier says that Kyland should have buzzed in first with the wrong answer so that Tiffany would have won. Oh my God. What? Like, I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. I feel like they're just looking for reasons right now to be mad at Kyland, and it's not fair to him because it sounds like he really did try to throw to Tiffany. So I'm sorry, like, did they expect Kyland to like pick up Tiffany's hand and hit the correct answer for her? It's ridiculous. So anyway, Xavier and Hannah know that because they're like the two adults in the cookout, they're going to have to do a lot of damage control within the group again this week because nobody is really trusting Kyland right now. They need to get it together. So, yeah, Xavier says, bottom line, someone from the cookout won this week, so none of the 6 are going to be going home. Like, we should be happy about this. And he says Kyland can come up with reasons to go after Brittany or Claire this week. And then Hannah's like, or Alyssa. Let's not forget about Alyssa. But you know, Xavier's going to get so pissy if Alyssa does end up being the target because he just lost Christian last week. He's not going to want to lose another number this week. So anyway, they disperse to go check on people. They're busy. So then Kyland was talking to the cameras in the have not room. And he is still in his adorable donkey costume. Because even though he's the HOH, he's got to finish out that punishment. All right. So he tells the cameras he's not actually freaking out, for the record. He feels okay about this. He said this is good at the end of the day because that means the cookout stayed in power. He is, however, really thrown off by how that HOH competition went down because Brittany was the first person who had to choose people to face off in the competition. And she ended up picking Kyland and Sarah Beth. And Kyland's like, that was really weird because I was under the impression that the house target for everyone outside of the cookout was Alyssa and Xavier. So he thought that Brittany would have picked them. He's also thrown off that Azah did not target Alyssa and Xavier. So he's like, what the hell is that all about? What's going on here? So he doesn't seem, I don't think he got the memo that Sarah Beth was like the number one target. But anyway, he says that Brittany should be panicking. But then he's like, honestly, I probably wouldn't even put her up on the block. Oh, what are you doing then? So Kai says the cookout and Derek X are not going home this week. And he feels like Derek X probably has one of the best shots, if not the best shot, at getting a power. And he says that's good because they're working together. So then Kyland shares that he found out the nominations are supposed to be at 10:30 a.m. the next morning, which means he's got to start his one-on-ones tonight. Oh, no. Not that. So then Kyland and Big D had a chat in the have not room. This is like the beginning of Kyland's one-on-one conversations. It's a long night. So Big D says Tiffany is a wreck right now, but that's on her because she got the final question wrong. I mean, I gotta side with Big D on this one. It sounds like Kyland was like setting up for Tiffany to like do the dunk or whatever, and then she missed. So Derek F says, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want Tiffany to win. Surprise, surprise. He says, I don't feel comfortable with her right now because of like everything that went down last week. So Kyland says he's kind of worried that the rest of the cookout is going to think that he didn't try to throw that competition because he did. And Big D says he's going to vouch for Kyland and explain that to the other members of the cookout. So Big D says, Azah though, Azah's pretty bummed that you kept picking her during the competition. Apparently Kyland chose Azah like 3 or 4 times to face off against different people. Yikes. And Kyland says he was trying to do that to cover up the alliance. And I guess because Brittany picked him, he was like, I'm going to pick somebody close to Brittany. So he picked Azah. And blah, blah, blah. It was messy. So Kyland says, I'm not going to send Brittany home this week. Big D is like, well, who are you going to send home then? What are your plans? He says, you're not going to make the move that we all said needed to be done, Sarah Beth. So Big D says Kyland has 4 people that he could send home this week, and he's close with like at least 3 of them. Derek X, Claire, and Sarah Beth. So Kyland says, yeah, but each member of the cookout, you know, according to Tiffany's plan, we only get 1 person outside of the alliance. And Kai says Claire is Tiffany's person. She's not mine. So she could go. Oh, so Big D's asking, okay, well, who would go up on the block next to Claire? And Kai says, I'm going to let the house decide. Yo, what? Isn't it like late in the game for that? Like, what? So then a few minutes later, Big D is asking again, like, who's going to go up next to Claire? Sir, Bowie wants to come in. Oh, and Kyland says Tiffany might go up next to Claire, but he's got to talk to her about it. Okay, here's the thing. Something tells me that Tiffany is not going to be down for this. She's not going to want to go up on the block against Claire. But she has said many times that she would want Claire to be the first jury member because she doesn't want to like bring her deep into the game and then have to disappoint her by getting rid of her because they're going to the end with all the cookout people. So yeah. Also, it was part of Tiffany's plan that she came up with herself that the cookout would be going up as pawns next to their corresponding pair. So Kyland would just be following along with Tiffany's plan if he put up Claire and Tiffany. But like, you know, that's not going to go over well. So Big D is like, do you think that's smart to like put one of us up this early? And Kyland says, we have numbers. You know, we could make it happen. He could be breaking the tie to keep Tiffany. So then Kyland goes through his boot order for the remaining non-cookout house guests. So he says Claire first, then Alyssa, and then Brittany. So he doesn't say like where Sarah Beth and Derek X fall and all of that. But Kyland says that Sarah Beth could be his target this week if Claire comes off the block and save herself. Come on. Who are you fooling right now? Stop trying to act like you would put Sarah Beth up on the block and get rid of her too. No. Okay, so then meanwhile, Xavier checks in with Azah, and she is crying in the yacht club bedroom. She's very upset. She's not sure why Kyland kept picking her during the competition, and she says, the thing that gets me is he said he was going to throw all the competitions this week. He kept telling us that he was okay with Sarah Beth going, and he would go up on the block as a pawn next to her. So yeah, she also says she's sad because she thinks that Kyland would put her and Brittany up on the block and send Brittany out. No, that's actually not what he's planning, though. What? So she says, I know that we have to prepare to lose our pairs that are not in the cookout, but... And then she starts crying. She's really upset just thinking about Brittany possibly going. So Azah says again, Kyland did not need to win this HOH competition. He gave her some excuse that he was worried about the twist and worried that he was a target because Brittany chose for him and Sarah Beth to face off against each other first. So, yeah. Azah's asking, like, why didn't he throw it to Tiffany? And apparently Azah was also thinking that Kyland would throw it to her, and then he didn't do that. So Xavier is saying again that Kai could have buzzed in with the wrong answer in that final round. It just makes me laugh every time I hear it because it's so ridiculous. But Xavier says, we're going to figure this out. Kyland's got some explaining to do. Does he though? So then Xavier chats with Kyland in the have-not room. And Kyland says he's not concerned about the 6. He feels like they're still solid, even though they hit some speed bumps last week. So Xavier's asking Kyland, what are you thinking for this week? And Kyland says, all 4 girls outside of the cookout are options to go. Claire, Alyssa, Sarah Beth, Brittany. But he says, it wouldn't be ideal for me to go after Sarah Beth. You know, that'd be really shitty for me considering how close we are, and would not be good for me to get her jury vote in the future. So he also says that Derek X is an option because he could win a power. So this is the exact opposite of what he was saying when he was talking to the cameras. He was saying it would be a good thing if Derek X got a power. So I'm imagining he's lying to Xavier just to cover up like how close he is to Derek X. I'm assuming. But yeah, Kyland says he's strongly considering targeting Claire this week. And Xavier says, cool, like we have Sarah Beth and Alyssa with us, so we should keep them around for a bit because we're going to need numbers outside of the 6. Yes, Xavier, we know you want to keep Alyssa. So Xavier suggests nominating Claire and Brittany instead of Claire and Tiffany because, you know, Tiffany's not going to be happy about that. And Kyland is open to it. He's like, yeah, you know, I could do something like that. So then Kyland brings up the new powers, and it could really mess things up. It could mess up their plans. It could mess up the order that they want to get rid of people. So Xavier's like, yeah, about that, I think there's a good chance that Alyssa could get one of those powers. He was saying apparently Alyssa's like business partner for her bathing suit line is like some model, and she's got like a big social media following. So he figures all those followers could vote for Alyssa. Plus, she was in the main showmance of the season now that they saw Christian and Alyssa kiss. So Xavier says, if you take a shot at Alyssa and you miss because she has a power, that's not going to be good. So Kyland says, I'm not taking a shot at Alyssa. And that's what Xavier wants to hear. He's happy about that. He likes it. Okay. So Xavier says, Alyssa's not coming for you at all. But like, that's a lie. Because all last week, Alyssa was talking about how she wants to target Kyland, Sarah Beth, and Derek X. So yeah, that's a lie. Anyway, meanwhile, Tiffany and Azah are chatting in the sea glass bedroom. And they've had a lot of tension between them the last few days. And now they're bonding again over their distrust of Kyland. They are pissed about how it all went down during the HOH competition. Honestly, like, I could see why Azah would be upset with him picking her to play over and over again. But I feel like, aside from that, they're just looking for reasons to be mad at Kyland. It's a little bit insane. But they are also upset because they really wanted Sarah Beth to go this week. And now that opportunity is pretty much gone. It's probably not going to happen. So after chatting for a bit, Tiffany and Azah, they work through some of their issues. They hug and they make up. Because like they've said before, they're like sisters. They're going to fight, but then they're going to make up and they're going to be fine. All right. So then Sarah Beth had a quick check-in with Kyland. And I just have a little interesting tidbit for you guys. Kai was asking why Sarah Beth doesn't seem more happy and more excited that he won HOH. And Sarah Beth says, maybe I'm an idiot, but I thought that Christian and Alyssa were just friends. Like, I didn't realize that they were in a showmance. Are you kidding me? You really need to wake up, girl. And she says, I'm worried now that people are going to think that we're in a showmance too. Oh, girl, you don't even know what they've been coming up with for you. You don't even know. So she also says she doesn't want her girlfriend to think that there's anything going on between her and Kyland. So Kyland's like, I get it. You know, that makes sense. That's fine. All right. I have to say, Kyland sounded like a little bit disappointed when she said that. But anyway, Kyland continued his one-on-one meetings in the have-not room. These are some long-ass combos, too, some of them. So he had a long conversation with Tiffany. I'm talking like an hour plus. And here are some highlights. She says she's really happy for him. If she looked upset before, it's just because she really wanted to see her son, see pictures of her son. And Kyland says, I tried to throw it to you. You know, I tried. And Tiffany says, it just sucks because now, like, what are they going to do? Tiffany could have easily taken a shot at Sarah Beth if she had won HOH this week. But now that Kyland won HOH, she's not really sure who he can even target. She doesn't think that Brittany is the move this week. They want to keep Brittany around because they feel like she's not going to, like, figure out the cookout. And also they could beat her in competitions and get rid of her. And Kyland agrees. And Tiffany says, if we send out Alyssa, Xavier's going to be really mad because he just lost Christian. We know. Okay. And she's saying, obviously, you're not going to want to put up Sarah Beth. That would be a really bad look for you. So Kai's like, well, what about Claire? And Tiffany's like, okay, fine. I keep forgetting about Claire. I feel like she's hoping everybody else forgot about Claire because she doesn't actually want to lose her this early. But Tiffany says if Claire does have to go up, then Claire has to go up. But I don't think that I can go up next to her. I don't know if we'd have enough votes to keep me. You knew that was coming. So Kyland's like, yeah, I agree. Like, we don't have to do that. Now the question is, will Tiffany give Claire a heads up that she's going up on the block? We'll see. Okay. So then Tiffany brings up that she and Kyland are supposed to have a final 2 deal, but they don't communicate enough. They don't talk enough. She feels like she can't tell him everything because he is so close to Sarah Beth. And Kyland says, well, I thought that was part of the plan for me to appear close to Sarah Beth. And now I feel like I'm facing repercussions for that. So, like, what's the deal with that? I mean, he's not wrong. And Tiffany describes how close she is to Claire. And she's saying, you know, I tell Claire a lot of stuff, but there are also things that I don't tell her. She says the 6 always comes first, you know, when it comes to your pair outside of the cookout. But she says people view you and Sarah Beth as almost as big a threat as Christian and Alyssa. Or if you were Tiffany last week, they're a bigger threat than Christian and Alyssa. So, yeah. Tiffany and Kyland agree they're going to be working on their communication. They're going to check in with each other more often. And we'll see if that happens or not. So then Alyssa was next to talk to Kyland. And Alyssa says, if I won HOH this week, I wouldn't have put up you, Sarah Beth, or Xavier. That's really easy to say when you didn't win. So they agree that it wouldn't make sense for them to go after each other. That's not what Alyssa was saying last week. Again, Alyssa was saying she wanted to target Derek X, Kyland, and Sarah Beth. Okay. So then Brittany had her one-on-one with Kyland, and she's got to explain herself here. She's explaining why she picked Kyland and Sarah Beth to go up against each other in the HOH competition. She says, Alyssa would have been my target this week if I was HOH, but I didn't want to show my hand by picking Alyssa first in the competition. So she says, like, she had a deal already with Kyland, so she felt like she could get away with picking him. He would know that they're good, blah, blah, blah. Sure. I don't know. Seems pretty fishy. But Brittany also proposed a deal for Kyland. She says, okay, I will offer you 2 weeks of safety, and I will also tell you how many BB bucks I get and if I get a power. And also, I can be your ears downstairs. I can tell you what's going on, what everybody's saying. So in return, she says, if she doesn't want to hit block. She doesn't want to hit block again. So if Kyland could keep her off the block, and if he wants to also share, like, how many bucks he gets, or if he gets power, that'd be cool too. So Kyland's like, I like what you're saying. Those terms do feel good to me, but he doesn't really accept the deal. He says he's still got to talk to everybody else. He's got to see what everybody else is saying. So he does let Brittany know, you don't have as high of a percentage of going up as you may think that you do. So, the deal could happen. All right. So then Hannah, Derek X, and Claire were chatting in the bathroom. And they're trying to figure out what Kai is going to do this week. Nobody seems to know what exactly he's going to do. I mean, to be fair, Kyland doesn't even know exactly what he's going to do. So Derek X is hoping that Kyland's going to target Alyssa. But he's not sure if Kai is going to do that because they know it's going to upset Xavier. And Derek X says if Kyland decides to take a shot at one of the Jokers, then that means he's closer to Xavier than I thought. I mean, he's a lot closer to Xavier than you thought. I feel like Derek X and Claire are going to be very confused by Kyland targeting Claire this week, if that is in fact what he does, because they have their little detectives alliance together with Tiffany as well. And there's these other targets available. So I think they're going to be pretty confused. But they think he's probably going to go for one of the Jokers, most likely Brittany. And Derek X says, again, if he goes for Brittany, then that would mean that Kai is trying to play the middle. He's got the detectives on one side, and then the Kings, Sarah, Beth, Xavier, and Alyssa on the other side. And Derek X says, if that is the case, and I win HOH next week, I'm going to target Xavier so that we can have Kyland back all to ourselves. Okay, interesting here. So Kyland didn't get his HOH room until super late. It was like almost 1 a.m. Big Brother time. And all of his pictures this week were with his friend Tara. And they were all like, oh my God, like, is this your girlfriend? Like, what's the deal? They're going to be analyzing that. But anyway, he's like, no, that's my friend. She's single, whatever. So his music this week is In the Heights, the cast recording. Yay! So fun. He got all of his snacks. He got a hoodie, hard seltzers, etc., etc. And his letter was from his friend Tara. So she's sending her endless love and support. It was a very sweet letter. And Big D continued to ask after the letter was read, is Tara just a friend? Or is that your girlfriend or your wife or whatever? And Kyland's like, no, like, we've never even kissed. We've never even done anything. And Derek F is like, she never grabbed your penis. I lost it at that point. After the sleep deprivation and everything, I just couldn't handle it. But anyway, Kyland shares that he's got a few announcements for the Houseguest. He shares that Big Brother told him they're not picking have-nots yet. I don't even know if they're doing it yet this week. But he also says that nominations will be at 10:30 a.m. So he wants to make sure everybody gets a chance to talk to him before nominations in one-on-ones. But also he has some sort of idea. He wants everyone to get up super early the next morning together. He wants everyone together so that he could do something. We're going to get there. So, okay. Kyland had some more long ass one-on-ones late into the night, into the early morning. Yes, Big D did say that. I did not make that up. But anyway, Kyland talked to Azah, and it was very awkward. She was looking for answers. She wants to know, why did Kyland keep picking her during the HOH competition? Why didn't he throw the HOH competition to her? So Kyland is giving these like super long, rambling explanations that didn't make a ton of sense, and Azah was not getting the answers that she was looking for. So she was getting very frustrated. And after like an hour or more of talking, she tells Kyland, I feel like we're not really getting anywhere with this right now, so we should just call it a night. You invested so much time, though. So after, she's telling Big D that Kyland was just giving her like Tony Robbins answers. Like, she wasn't happy with it. And that Azah and Kaya relationship is very strained right now. So Kyland also had one-on-ones with like Derek X, Hannah, Big D, and they all seemed to be pushing for Alyssa to be the target. But it was interesting because Big D also volunteered to go up as a pawn because he did not want Azah to go up as a pawn. So he was like, put me up instead. Wow. That's so nice of him. So we'll see if Kyland takes him up on that. So I think Kyland probably should have gotten more sleep last night because he stayed up until almost like 6 a.m. talking to people. And then he was up less than 2 hours later for his next thing. So this morning, Kyland is still trying to decide who he's going to target, who he's going to nominate. So he's like, is it going to be Claire, Alyssa, Sarah Beth? Stop pretending that you put Sarah Beth up on the blog. It's a little bit ridiculous and it's going to rub people the wrong way. But anyway, he gathered everyone upstairs on the Sky Bridge early and he lets them know, I'm going to pull everyone into the HOH room one at a time and I'm going to ask you guys a few questions. So to answer these questions, he doesn't want verbal answers. He wants each of the house guests to answer by placing little candies or cereal, whatever is assigned to each individual person, and they're going to place them on a grid. And the grid corresponds to the memory wall, which Kyland has pulled up on the spy screen. This is some complicated shit. So here are the questions that he was asking everyone. Number 1, who do you think is the most influential person in the house? Number 2, who is the biggest threat to your personal game? Number 3, who are the 2 people that you would put up? And number 4, who would you put next to your target to make sure that they go home? So I'm not going to go through every like individual answer for every person here because in some cases we couldn't even see how they were answering and some of them were probably lying anyway. So it's like, who cares? But one thing that was just like, whoa, when it was Azah's turn with Kyland, she put for her first answer of who do you think is the most influential person in the house, she put Frenchie. And Kyland was like, oh, I meant like of people that are left in the house. And she was like, oh, I don't know. I don't have any opinion on that. And then she said that she didn't have an opinion for all of the questions. Oh my God, what are you doing, Azah? This is just too much. It's too much. So anyway, I'm not sure if Kyland actually got any valuable information from this exercise. I'm not even sure how he was keeping track of all the answers. If he had like some master board that he was moving everything to, like, I don't know what the hell was going on there. Because there's been so much and my brain is dead at this point. But anyway, they had the nomination ceremony today and Kyland nominated Claire and Big D. So Kyland did give Claire a heads up before that she might be going up as a pawn. She's not a pawn. And she and Derek X are very confused about what Kyland is doing right now. They're wondering, did he cut a deal with Xavier and Alyssa? Like, why is Alyssa not up on the block? What's going on here? We're supposed to be working together in the detectives. Like, does he have some other backdoor plan in place? Like, what is this? So there's a lot of confusion going on. And after the nominations, Big D is trying to cover up the cookout. He's playing it off like he didn't volunteer to go up. He's saying, I think I'm the target. I can't believe this. Oh my God. But the thing is, he's not even telling Azah that he volunteered to go up. So this is just getting Azah more and more pissed off at Kyland. It's a whole mess. So then the feeds have been down now a while for the high roller room twist. And honestly, when the feeds come back, I'm not even sure how much we're going to figure out just from watching the feeds, like who got what quantity of BB bucks, if anybody won a power. It's going to be really hard to tell unless somebody spills either to another house guest or to one of the cameras. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to tell you guys in the info box below later if you want to check back, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. hopefully we'll know from the feeds because it's so sad when we have to wait until Sunday. Hi, baby boy. Hello. Hi, Louie. Oh, happy girl. Hi, we got 2 babies, 2 hot doggies. So it's been a wild ride. But I want to thank all of our super chatters because you guys are amazing. So Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much. Adley Bruges, thank you so much. Sean, thank you so much. Michelle C, thank you so much. Dawn MH, 302, thank you so much. Lisa, thank you so much. Oh, and thank you for watching for years. That's amazing. Kitten, is it Shriver?
Yes.
Shriver, thank you so much. Tooltips with Tommy, thank you so much. And he has a question. Why can't Big D vote to evict properly? I don't know. Some people were saying he might have like dyslexia or something, but I love the way he votes. It brings joy to my face every week. So
I was like, are you kidding me at first? And then I was like, please don't change.
I know. I get excited when I see that he's going in to vote. I'm like, let's see. Big D's going to go vote now. Let's see if he does it. And honestly, if he didn't do it, I'd be disappointed.
Me too.
I enjoy it. But anyway, I don't know the story behind that for sure. Carrie Walker.
Big D, you do Big D.
Yeah. Carrie Walker, thank you so much for the super chat. Ms. Elementary, thank you so much. Ron and Kelly, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for all you do. The Real VB, thank you so much for the super chat. And she says, thank you for sitting through Kai's and the Three Stooges, Joker's convos. She says, because I can't do it. You've been added to this week's budget. Oh, thank you. You're very, very kind. Nick Silverstein, thank you so much for the super chat.
From Nick, not Randy.
Okay.
He had a whole thing and I couldn't write it because I was dying.
Okay.
So, and I was running out of room. But this one is from Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Vajra, thank you so much. And yes, happy Friday the 13th. I hope it's a lucky day. It's a big day for my D&D party, so let's hope all of our characters don't die today. It is possible, but we'll see. I don't know. So, yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Julie's Heart, thank you so much for the super chat. Woo! Okay. We made it. My mouth is so dry. I need to go in the pool. It's hot in here. But thank you all so much. Oh, Anita Starr, thank you for the super chat. Let me just add you to the list. Let's get you on here for tomorrow. Okay. That concludes today's BB23 updates and spoilers.
Oh my goodness.
We will see you all tomorrow. Are you doing it tomorrow?
I don't know. Am I?
I don't know.
I might.
I have a prior engagement tomorrow afternoon, so we're either going to be doing a live spoiler earlier in the day, similar to when we do the Sunday ones, or she's going to be doing a not live one at our usual time.
I'm going to be doing a steaming pile.
We'll see what happens, but if you guys are not already following me on Twitter, my Twitter link is down below. I always tweet out before we do a live, like at least 20 minutes before.
Well, if I do it, it's not going to be live.
That's what I said, yeah. So, we'll see. If it doesn't happen before 2:30, it's going to be her. Because I'm leaving at 2:30 tomorrow. But anyway, thank you all so much for being here. And until next time, much love. Awkward ending.